Okay, we're going to get started with a couple of things tonight. So if we can get everybody's attention, get you to sit down, we'll kind of rock and roll through a big weekend. It will start of a big weekend. We have a lot of things to talk about tonight. First of all, welcome to the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. If you've not been here before, welcome for the first time. We urge you to walk through the hall at any time that you want to tonight. We do appreciate you coming, and please come back another time.
Did you hear the story about what Dad?
The other, just a couple of other things that we want to do is, of course, we're here for the big weekend tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock at Home on the Range. We've got a big bronc ride, and it is the best in the world, and I don't think I have to tell anybody that. We're here to sell the Cowboys tonight, and we'll get at that in about 15 minutes. If you didn't get a chance, way in the back, Ike Crimmins sitting back there with Connie Sunby and Suzanne Henry are back there, and it's the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame raffle that we have going on this year. And I want you to know about that because we have a handmade saddle from Sand Hills Saddlery. Sean Kramer makes a great saddle. We have a print from Barb Collins Craft. That is a great print. And then an over and under 12 gauge shotgun that was given to us by a member. So those are the prizes. It's a raffle. Those girls in the back, and Ike Crimmins and Connie and Suzanne can sell you a ticket. One other thing I want to promote about the Hall of Fame is our golf scramble, which is Thursday, September 7th at Bully Pulpit Golf Course. That is such a great golf course. We have a great time. Get 4 players. Give me a call. I'll make sure I get a registration sheet in your hand, and we'll do that. Now, I want to start by talking about this beautiful covering that we have. One other thing, and it's pretty important for the Hall of Fame. On August 4th, 2005, that's 12 years ago today, we had a grand opening of this hall. It was just finished. We just opened the doors 12 years ago on this day, August 4th. So we're 12 years old as far as the hall today. We have many functions out here in the patio, and I sat up there in our conference room one day, and it was snowing outside, and Ed was with me, our maintenance man, Ed Stockard, and I sat up there and I said, Ed, you know what we need right here is we need a covering over that stage, because we just gone through a summer of hot and dry, kind of like this summer, not nearly as bad, but we have a lot of weddings on this patio, and we needed a covering, and so we started talking about that. And as the winter went, we put together some plans and some ideas for this covering, and it has materialized. We as we sat there and talked about it, we thought about who could we name that patio after. And only one guy came to my mind, and you see his name on the front of it. He was North Dakota's first world champion, and a great guy, and a great rancher. And we started plans at that time to make this the Alvin Nelson Memorial Arena, and that's what it is tonight. Thank you. We decided to do this tonight because Alvin Nelson was the very first champion at Home on the Range. And so this was a fitting place. Kaye and I got together, and Kaye asked me if there was any possible way that we could do this dedication of this patio to Alvin tonight, and that's why it's here for you tonight. So, without any further ado, let me introduce you to a great guy, a friend of mine, I think. He's a bronc rider, a steer roper, a cowboy poet, and probably the best lutefisk maker I know in Sims, North Dakota. Please welcome Rodney Nelson.
Thank you for getting this crowd totally under control, Rick. I don't make the lutefisk either. I wash the platters. And come there. It's the best lutefisk supper in North Dakota, guaranteed, first Saturday in November. Well, I like to think I'm a fairly honest man most of the time, but I will admit that I've sometimes in my life kind of jokingly hinted that I may have been related to Alvin Nelson. And I'd still like to make that claim. However, I guess for those of you who knew both of us, you might guess my ancestors came from a part of Norway with a little higher elevation. Well, I'll tell you one thing, I'm tickled to be a part of this dedication to the Alvin Nelson Memorial Arena, which is part of the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. The Cowboy Hall of Fame is of special importance to us because it's really more than a Cowboy Hall of Fame, and it's more than a North Dakota Hall of Fame. It's kind of the place kind of belongs to any American with kind of a Western mentality or cowboy mentality. If you go anywhere in the United States, or the inductees into this hall are people that we tend to relate to, people who are friends of our friends, or people who are bonded together with an appreciation of Western heritage or lifestyle. You go to any place in the United States or Canada to a livestock event or rodeo, and you will find people there who know some of the inductees into this Hall of Fame, or knew them, or these inductees into this Hall of Fame are heroes to someone, every one of them. And I guess all of us have a childhood hero, and when I was a kid, many of my fellow kids that I went to grade school with, it's a nice train that came by right now. Well, it's better than booing and hissing anyway. The kids that I grew up with had heroes like Mickey Mantle or Yogi Berra or maybe Roy Rogers or Gene Autry, but my heroes always were North Dakota's prominent rodeo cowboys, including Alvin Nelson. And my dad, he never thought we needed too much entertainment when I was a kid, but by golly, he always saw to it that we got to go to Minot in the fall for the Wise Men's Rodeo. And we went there full of anticipation to see our North Dakotans ride, and especially Alvin Nelson. That was always a big treat to us to go there. A lot of my friends could never ever hope to see their heroes perform, or even as much to get an autograph from them. But people like myself not only got to see our heroes perform, but we eventually got to meet them, to get to know them, and claim them as our friends. So today we're dedicating the Alvin Nelson Memorial Arena. It is fitting that this arena be called the Alvin Nelson Memorial Arena. He was our first world champion rodeo cowboy from North Dakota. He was also the kind of guy you'd want for a neighbor. He was a family man and a real genuine working cowboy. Consider the fact that Alvin rodeoed in an era of arguably some of the greatest rodeo cowboys of all time. People like Bill Linderman or Casey Tibbs or Gerald Roberts. And at that time, there probably never been greater cowboys than them. And consider the fact that he performed in a sport where rivals not only competed against one another, they traveled together, helped each other out, cheered for one another, and even had to help each other financially from time to time. Consider the fact that several of the nation's top rodeo cowboys of that era were people that Alvin traveled with and competed against. I had the privilege of knowing most of those guys, and that traveled in his time from North Dakota, and also have met many great rodeo cowboys throughout the United States at one time or another. And any time Alvin Nelson's name came up, they would always say something like, "By God, that Alvin could ride." I never heard anything but a positive comment about Alvin. You know, coming up with a name, to use Alvin's name on this arena, had to take some serious thought, because there are several people who arguably and justifiably may have claimed that honor. But I really believe if you gathered all of those people, both the living and the dead, and put them together in a group and took a vote, I should not be surprised if it would not be unanimous to call this place the Alvin Nelson Memorial Arena. I got to think a little bit, and thinking is hard for me, but you know, we think of Alvin as being a saddle bronc rider, and of course he was, and a lot of people like me have the image of Alvin riding Big John burned into our minds, but he was also an all-around cowboy, one of the top bareback riders in the nation for many years. He was a North Dakota bull riding champion, and later in life competed as a team roper. Consider the fact that Alvin was taken away from the sport at the very peak of his career. Right after winning the World Championship, he got drafted into the Army. Talk about taking a guy's momentum away from him. Just think of the championships that Alvin may have won had that not happened. Consider the fact that Alvin was a member of the PRCA for 61 years. And not only that, he was also a member of the Sons of Norway. You know, I can't help but think of this. Alvin's the son of an immigrant. And I can think of Alvin's relatives back in Norway saying something like, "Can you believe it? Tobias' son Alvin is a world champion bronco buster?" They probably said something like that. Consider the fact that Alvin possessed those traits that North Dakotans and rural Americans hold in high esteem, traits like honesty, integrity, hard work, and modesty. Just think of the influence and the positive influence Alvin and Kaye have made on North Dakota rodeo people. Now, not everybody can be a Brad Jermanson or a Wayne Herman, but countless talented rodeo cowboys in both the pro and amateur ranks got their start buckling on dime store spurs onto lace-up shoes and crawling on pale calves and milk cows behind the barn, hoping they could one day be another Alvin Nelson. Think of all the girls in this state who became riders, ropers, barrel racers, or rodeo queens like Ashley and Brenda that hope one day they may look as beautiful on a horse as Kaye. Consider the honorees of this very hall here, who may never have been honored by this organization had they not been influenced by this rodeo couple. It is fitting that this memorial or this dedication be on the eve of the Champions Ride Rodeo, where Alvin was the very first winner of that ride. And I'll tell you what, I really believe that the best doggone reason I can think of why this place deserves to be called the Alvin Nelson Memorial Arena is the fact that I truly believe that Alvin was far more proud of his North Dakota ranching community, his wife Kaye, his son and daughter-in-law Louis and Aline, and especially his grandson Garrett, than he ever was of that gold buckle. Thank you very much.
Only Rodney Nelson. Thank you very much. That was great. I'd like to, if she would, please have Kaye come up, and I just want you to say a couple of words, Kaye, and it is such a great day for, I know, for you and for the family. So please come on up here.
Thank you, and thank you, Rodney. I love your poetry, and that was a wonderful, wonderful tribute. Thank you all for the honor of naming the patio for Alvin. I'm sure if he were here, he would say that to you. Alvin was very proud of the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. It was 11 o'clock at night when the phone rang. When the phone rings like that late at night, it's always a little scary. He got out of bed and went and answered it. No cell phones then. This was 1998. He came back and he had a big smile on his face. He said he was being inducted. He was so happy. He was so grateful for this honor. Talks and meetings creating the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame had been going on for at least 3 years, so it was only natural that people were wondering who would be inducted when the time came. It was a very exciting moment. People had been working on the criteria for induction for a long time, so Alvin considered it a great honor to be inducted. I'm sure Alvin is looking down from heaven, admiring this beautiful patio this evening. He's happy for all the events that will be held here. His family, his friends, his neighbors, his ranch were all important to him, and so was his induction here. And I know he is very proud of the honor you have given him with naming the patio the Alvin Nelson Arena. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kaye. So, from now on, we will have many, many events in this, the Alvin Nelson Memorial Arena. Thank you very much. Appreciate you all being here for this.